Spoiler alert. Season 2 is on the way. So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. But I did see the one clip that somebody put on the internet about him saying, don't virtue signal, just come out here and get your little prize. Go Satanov, because nobody cares about your opinion. I was like, thank you, Ricky. The Ellen situation. Yeah, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And every can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared. Because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. He was like, she's a monster. The Golden Globes will be held in January 2020. At the Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais stands up in front of an audience of A-listers and makes a joke about Jeffrey Epstein. Tom Hanks is the first actor seen. It's as if Tom wishes he could simply teleport out of that room because his mouth drops and his eyes widen. That video clip went viral. It aired to millions of viewers. They mostly just rolled their eyes, produced a meme, and ignored it. That identical moment, however, seems quite different now, 6 years later, and it is the subject of our discussion for the day. You have likely seen a variation of this article circulating previously if you clicked on this. The Ricky Gervais footage, the Tom Hanks response, maybe some postings concerning the Epstein files. But what I'm about to address is probably going to shock you the most because that's precisely what I went and discovered out there's actually a lot going on here. There's the Golden Globes moment. There's a person called Isaac Cappy who accused Tom Hanks on live TV back in 2018. There's a peculiar Instagram post that some believe themselves was some type of death threat. There's the Greek citizenship problem. And then there's the entire Epstein file incident from January 2026, when Tom Hanks' name was apparently all over the records. We're going to go over all of it, and at the end you'll know precisely what's true, what's been utterly made up, and why. Sarah Ruth Ashcraft on Twitter, who has been accusing Tom Hanks of her when she was 13. Her dad sold her to Tom Hanks. Since when has this brand of common decency and professionalism been put on hold just because of dynamics in the workplace? This one unpleasant camera, cut from 2020, developed into years of conspiracy rumors surrounding one of the most renowned individuals in the world. Let's get into it. Before we get into the real tale, just so we're all on the same page, who are these two people and why does any of this matter? Don't worry, I'm not going to get any more into who these folks are. The meme that developed into a conspiracy. All right, so let's truly discuss about what occurred that night. Ricky Gervais is up on stage doing his thing, making jokes about Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history, Felicity Huffman going to jail, Apple Inc., manufacturing their shows in sweatshops, normal Ricky stuff. And then he drops the Epstein line. He says something like, I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So, he's talking to the room, then the camera switches to Tom Hanks. Tom appears genuinely caught off, like someone just said something at a dinner party that you truly weren't expecting. And now you don't know where to look. Jaw dropped, eyes wide, not a great poker face. That footage is screenshotted instantly. By the following morning, it's the greatest meme of the night. Watching the show, that's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer. And it's still more fun than this. Okay, no. Spoiler alert. Season 2 is on the way. So in the end, just like Jeffrey Epstein. No. Charlafteray. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Cheering. Is this what's going on with social media, that Oprah and I cannot go on a billionaire's boat to Tahiti with a former president of the United States and not keep it secret for God's sakes? Tom Hanks watching Ricky Gervais demolish the entire place. People were having fun with it. But then something changed in the comment areas. People began truly examining the response instead of simply laughing at it. And the questions came out. Why does he appear so uncomfortable? Especially at the Jeffrey Epstein joke. Why not the other jokes? Does Tom Hanks truly know anything about Jeffrey Epstein? And that's it. That's all it took. Those queries began circulating within hours after the ceremony. And once a query like that gets into the internet, and it practically never leaves, what Ricky Gervais said about it. Here's something most people didn't really pay attention to. After the concert, Ricky really detailed what he felt was going on with Tom's response in a Yahoo Entertainment interview. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I don't believe he was against what I was saying. I guess he simply thought, oh, this is a little heated. Is this okay?" So Ricky's take was that Tom wasn't uncomfortable because he was guilty of anything. He was uncomfortable because someone was being so brazen. When they said, do you want to host the Golden Globes? All that stuff I said in the show was true. I said, I'm going to write my own jokes, right? And I thought, who do I pander to? The 200 richest people in the room, or the 200 million people watching at home who aren't winning awards? Yeah, who aren't millionaires. And it was a no-brainer. And if they can't take a gentle ribbon, and they've got everything, clears throat already, they've got everything. You can take the Mickey out of their film, or their hair, or something. And that was the days when they were revered, where people thought you shouldn't take the Mickey out of these wonderful people. What these individuals were reportedly eating in the name of remaining strong, keeping youthful, staying untouchable. You'll understand why Ricky Gervais stepping on that platform wasn't just daring, it was vital, and it's going to reinterpret everything you thought you knew about Ellen DeGeneres. But here's what nobody is connecting. Let's start from the beginning, because before the Epstein files started dropping, now before celebrities started selling their homes at a loss and quietly relocating to countries with no extradition treaties, before the internet started connecting dots that the mainstream media refused to touch, there was one man standing on the biggest stage in Hollywood, microphone in hand, looking directly at the most powerful people on the planet, and he was smiling. People that are in the position to actually know the people's names on the list, those people are probably in trouble. Yeah, because that's a crazy piece of information to have. No one's been tried, no one's been brought, no one's been discussed. We know who went there, we know flight logs, no one talks about anything, there's no effort to process. 200 million people watching at home. That was his audience. Not the superstars, not the studio heads, nor the producers. The folks at home, the ones who weren't in on it, the ones who had no notion what was truly going behind those glossy, closed doors. And what was happening? Well, that's precisely what we're going into today, because this tale goes far deeper than award show humor. This is about a habit, a ritual, an alleged obsession that goes up the very top of Hollywood's food chain. And we mean that in the most unsettling sense conceivable. Ricky Gervais has been dropping breadcrumbs for years. Go back and watch every single Golden Globe Awards appearance he made. Watch the room, watch the expressions, see who laughs, and who becomes utterly, painfully motionless. Asking you back to do those awards, and the actual actors and actresses in the audience, they look terrified at the idea of you mentioning their name. Do you feel that? Yeah, I did. And I noticed it the first time I didn't get it. Like when the first one I did it, people would come up and say, what are you going to say about me? I think, why do you care? I only go after their public behavior. Now, let's chat about Ellen DeGeneres. And I want you to stick with me here because here is where things become very unpleasant. Ellen DeGeneres established her whole public image on being warm, personable, funny, the type of lady you'd welcome into your living room every single afternoon for years. And millions of people did precisely that. She was America's midday darling. The lady who reminded everyone to be nice. The woman with the catchy dancing routines and the easy grin. But behind that picture, supposedly something very, very different was occurring. We're going to talk about the obsession. Not with fame, not with money, but with something far more primal. Youth, vitality, power, and the alleged belief documented in witness accounts that have been circulating since the Epstein files started dropping, that these things could be taken, absorbed, consumed. She believed consumption was transformation, that youth could be taken in, that vitality could be absorbed. She talked about ancient rites, about elites throughout history who understood what the masses did. DeGeneres and Portia. D. Rosie moved to England after Trump election win. Ellen and Portia have settled into a new home in the Cotswold, a region in southwest England about 2 hours from London. We're told that the couple scooped up the place before the election, but were very disillusioned with Trump's victory. And as one source put it, they immediately decided to quote-unquote get the hell out. Did you see the Ellen DeGeneres set on her show was the same set as the Epstein Island? You got to relax, bro. Check it. Look at it, bro. What was going on around, bro? It's crazy, bro. So, is Moana taking place on Epstein Island? Bro, I don't know, bro. All Badansh was Sebastian and Ariel on Epstein Island. When you get a moment, go online and look at her set and look at the temple in the Epstein Island. They look the same. Oprah's name's outside now. Yeah. About some school in Africa. Ellen DeGeneres just moved to England last year, and apparently she's escaped because who started popping off? Then in 2022, Ricky brought it up again on a podcast and offered a little more background. Now, he stated Tom was essentially responding like, why is he saying that? Like someone who feels above it all, not someone who gets caught out. Ricky's version, Tom merely had his nose out of joint, nothing more. But by 2022, the internet was long beyond caring about Rick's answer. They already had a different tale locked in, Isaac Cappy and where the true charges originated from. If you want to understand where the actual conspiracy surrounding Tom Hanks started, not the meme, but the serious Tom Hanks is a criminal stuff, you need to know about a person named Isaac Cappy. Cappy was an actor, nothing significant. He had little appearances in Thor, Terminator Salvation, and Breaking Bad. Not someone most people had ever heard of. And by 2018, his career wasn't really going anywhere. But in August 2018, Cappy goes on InfoWars and flat out accuses Tom Hanks of being a pedophile on live TV. No documentation, no paperwork, no proof of any kind, just him stating it right into a camera. He also cites Steven Spielberg and Seth Green in the same talk. QAnon, the entire Hollywood elites are running a secret child trafficking ring movement, immediately places Cappy on a pedestal. He's expressing precisely what they've been claiming. He's one of their own now. And then May 13th, 2019, Cappy dies. He pushes himself off a bridge in Arizona onto Interstate 40, which runs along US Route 66. Two teens really attempted to physically stop him. Authorities deemed it suicide. There were established mental health difficulties, but the conspiracy fringe didn't accept that. They claimed he was murdered. They believed he was silenced because he knew too much. And they alleged influential individuals had him taken out. And since he had implicated Tom Hanks by name, Tom was brought immediately into all of it. The Instagram photo right here is the point where, honestly, I sort of understood why people went with it, even if it turned out to be utterly nothing. April 4th, 2019. 1 month before Cappy dies, Tom Hanks publishes a picture on Instagram. It's a plastic glove laying on the side of a road. There's a Route 66 sign in the backdrop. His caption is historic Route 66. Roadkill. I hope not. Hanks. Then 1 month later, Cappy dies on US Route 66. And sure, as you may expect, the internet lost it. People were claiming Tom anticipated the killing, that roadkill was a threat, that it was a coded communication to someone, that he ordered a hit, and that the Instagram post was proof. And so here's the genuine answer, though. Tom Hanks has been publishing odd images of missing stuff for years. Gloves, single shoes, kids' toys left on the sidewalk. It's simply this bizarre thing he does. He's been doing it far before any of this came out. It's truly simply a peculiar pastime the dude has. But this didn't land well. When Tom attempted to explain it, his son Chad Hanks went on Instagram and recorded a rather angry video reaction, essentially ordering people to stop because they were devoted to bizarre online theories. Tom had to turn off comments on his Instagram. He deactivated tagging. The harassing was absolutely out of hand. Someone on Reddit at the time put it up well. A photo of a glove on Instagram makes him a pedophile. Mankind is terribly screwed. And honestly, yeah, that's about accurate. The Greek citizenship thing. At the same time, all this is growing online. Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson gained Greek citizenship. December 2019, the president of Greece signs it personally. And naturally they go, see, he's jogging. He knows the Epstein files are coming. Greece doesn't extradite. He's preparing up an escape. Here's why they really got it, though. In 2018, flames ravaged a village named Mati near Athens. Over 100 individuals perished. It was a catastrophe, and Tom and Rita didn't simply write about it. They actively utilized their position to increase worldwide awareness, fight for help, and make sure the world stayed paying attention when it might easily have gone on to the next news cycle. On top of that, Rita Wilson is of Greek origin. Tom converted to the Greek Orthodox Church in 1988. They own a house on Antiparos. They go there every summer. Greece isn't some random escape plan. It's actually been part of their existence for decades. The Greek interior minister at the time genuinely claimed Tom showed true concern in the individuals who suffered. It was honorary citizenship for humanitarian work. Full stop. In July 2020, they was pictured with the Greek prime minister carrying their passports. Tom termed Greece a healing place. Very nasty stuff. None of the assertions concerning his avoiding prosecution have any papers, any sources, or any foundation in truth. They merely seem convincing to folks who already accepted the other things, the Epstein files and the phony lists. Suddenly, January 2026 comes around, and the Epstein files drop millions of pages of them. This was a significant occasion. People have been waiting for years. The notion was always, if those files come out, we'll finally see all the names. Everyone linked to Epstein, all of stuff. And within hours of the publication, blogs began going viral, alleging Tom Hanks was in the docks. Screenshots everywhere, highlighted names, people sharing them millions of times. He's finally been exposed. It's over for him. Fact checkers set to work, and Deutsche Welle looked into it properly. Their judgment was fairly blunt. The entire event was absolutely contrived, not deceptive, not taken out of context, fabricated. The screenshots displaying Tom's name were artificially modified. A Greek foreign minister, many positions referenced. That individual doesn't exist. Claims that Tom's Greek citizenship been canceled due of the Epstein connection. False. He's still a Greek citizen. Nothing was revoked. Nothing occurred. Tom Hanks is not in the Epstein archives. He has no verifiable link to Jeffrey Epstein. The postings that indicated otherwise were made up. That's it. That's the story. So why does this keep spreading? Here's the bit that's really the most interesting. Snopes discredited it. PolitiFact refuted it. Newsweek lead stories Deutsche Welle. All of them looked at it and declared there's nothing there, and the hypotheses are still circulating. New posts are still going up. People are continually spreading the same phony screenshots. Why? Because a debunk receives maybe a fraction of the attention the original piece gained. The phony tale goes viral. The correction is spread by others who were already dubious. The individuals who trusted the initial message never see the correction, or if they do, they assume the fact checkers are in on it. Anyway, I want to know what you think. Do you suppose Ricky Gervais understood precisely what he was doing when the camera switched to Tom Hanks? Or was it all simply pandemonium and the internet did the rest? Drop it in the comments. Genuinely intrigued. And if you've been seeing those Epstein list postings flying around, now you know the genuine truth. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Like and subscribe if you want more of this type of thing, and I'll see you in the Harsi.